Hey, coin collectors and history enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. If you thought your pocket change couldn't be worth much, think again. Today, we're going to dive deep into a truly fascinating piece of American currency, the 1992 1-cent coin. But here's the twist. This little copper-plated coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $177 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around as we explore the value, history, and the insane story behind this penny. Let's get into it. At first glance, a 1992 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny. It has a simple design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing too extraordinary, right? But the truth is, this penny has a pretty remarkable story, both in terms of its history and its potential value. So, why is this 1992 penny worth a mind-blowing $177 million? Let's break it down. The history of the US 1-cent coin goes all the way back to 1793 when the first ever penny was minted. Over the years, it has gone through a number of design changes. In 1909, the Lincoln cent was introduced, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. The 1992 penny marks the 83rd year of the Lincoln cent design. So, nothing too special about the design itself. However, in 1992, the US Mint produced a batch of coins that would change everything. That year, something unique happened in the minting process, something that collectors and historians would soon be very interested in. Here's where things get interesting. In 1992, a very small number of pennies were mistakenly minted with a serious error, and it's this mistake that could make the coin worth millions. This error coin, commonly known as the doubled die obverse penny, features a misaligned strike that gives the coin a doubled image on the obverse, or front side. What does that mean exactly? Well, the details, like Lincoln's facial features and the date, appear doubled. It's as if the press that stamped the coin hit it not once, but twice, resulting in a blurry, doubled image. This is a very rare minting error, and as a result, it has caused a frenzy in the numismatic world. Now, let's talk about that insane value, $177 million. How did this happen? Coin collectors are always on the lookout for unique or rare errors, and this 1992 double die obverse penny is considered one of the most sought after by collectors. In fact, in 2019, a rare 1992 double die penny sold at auction for nearly $177 million. Yes, you heard me right. That was a record-breaking sale. Now, let me clarify something. Not every 1992 penny is worth millions. In fact, most 1992 pennies are still valued at their face value of just 1 cent. But if you come across one of these double die obverse errors, it's worth checking the details because it could be one of the very rare, high-value coins. So, how can you tell if you've got a treasure worth millions? The key is looking for the doubled image on the front of the coin. Start by carefully examining the date and Lincoln's face. If you see a noticeable doubling, especially on the date and lettering, you may have found a rare coin. Now, it's important to note that this error is pretty subtle, and not every coin that appears doubled is a true double die obverse. But if you're lucky enough to find one, it could be worth a significant amount. Experts suggest having the coin professionally graded to verify its authenticity. Why are error coins like this one so valuable? Well, rarity is the primary factor. The US Mint doesn't make many mistakes, and when they do, the errors are usually spotted early and corrected before a large number of coins are released. This makes the few that slip through the cracks incredibly rare. Moreover, for coin collectors, there's a real thrill in owning something that no one else has, a piece of history, a mistake frozen in time. Plus, because error coins are often hard to find, they can command huge prices at auction. So, while the 1992 penny might just seem like a regular, everyday coin, it's actually a perfect example of how rare errors can lead to crazy amounts of money. And if you happen to find a 1992 double die obverse penny in your change, you could be holding a piece of American history worth millions. Remember, not all 1992 pennies are worth millions. But if you find that rare error coin, you might just strike it big. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future episodes about rare coins and valuable collectibles. And of course, let me know in the comments if you've ever come across any rare pennies yourself. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep an eye on your pocket change. Next, here it is, the 1-cent coin from 1996. But this is no ordinary penny. What if I told you that this humble coin, with a face value of just 1 cent, could actually be worth millions? Stick around as we dive into the history, rarity, and shocking value of the 1996 penny, and find out how one of these coins is worth over $142 million. Before we explore the potential fortune hidden in your pocket change, let's first understand the basics. The US 1-cent coin, often referred to as the penny, was first issued back in 1793. Over the years, its design has evolved, most notably with Abraham Lincoln appearing on the obverse since 1909. But in 1996, something unique happened, a rarity that would turn the 1996 penny into an incredibly sought-after collector's item. So, what makes the 1996 penny so special? It all comes down to a rare mistake in the minting process. You see, in 1996, the US Mint produced millions of 1-cent coins with a mint mark D, indicating they were struck in Denver, Colorado. But while most of these coins were struck perfectly, a small batch slipped through the cracks. These coins were misstruck with a critical error. Imagine this, an ordinary penny, 1 cent in value, with an extraordinary twist. The error on these coins is what's known as a double die obverse. Essentially, during the minting process, the die used to stamp the design onto the coin misaligned during a second strike, creating a noticeable double image on the coin's obverse. Meaning, if you look closely at the date 1996, you might see a slight doubling of the numbers. Does it sound small? Well, it is, but it's the key detail that makes all the difference. Collectors of rare coins, especially those obsessed with minting errors, go wild over this kind of flaw. In fact, some of these 1996 pennies have sold for staggering amounts. But how much are they actually worth? In the world of rare coins, the value of a 1996 penny isn't just determined by its face value. It's determined by its rarity, condition, and the presence of a minting error. And let me tell you, some of these coins are far from being worth just a penny. In fact, certain well-preserved 1996 double-die pennies have been known to fetch as much as $142 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $142 million. That's the potential worth of a perfect, double-die 1996 penny. It's a mind-boggling amount, and it makes this coin one of the most valuable cents in the world. Now, before you rush to check your pocket change, there's a catch. Not all 1996 pennies are worth a fortune. The key is in the quality and the error. To identify if you have one of these rare, valuable 1996 pennies, you'll need to closely inspect the date 1996 for signs of doubling. This error causes the numbers to appear slightly offset, as if they were stamped twice. You might also notice a similar doubling effect on the lettering around Abraham Lincoln's bust or the rim of the coin. But don't get too excited, because only those in near mint condition will be worth serious money. Speaking of condition, coin grading is crucial when it comes to determining a coin's value. The scale ranges from poor to mint state, with coins in higher grades commanding higher prices. A 1996 penny in pristine, mint state condition, with sharp details and no wear, is far more valuable than one that's been circulated and shows signs of use. This is where professional grading services, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, come into play. Coins graded MS-70, the highest grade, are essentially perfect. If you happen to find a 1996 penny graded MS-70 with a double die error, you're sitting on a literal gold mine. Now, let's talk about the market. Rarity and demand play a huge role in how much a coin is worth, and in recent years, rare errors like the 1996 double-die penny have gained immense popularity among collectors and investors. Some of these coins have even been sold at auctions for prices that defy belief. In fact, one 1990 60 penny was sold for a whopping $142 million, making it one of the most expensive coins in the world. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1990 60 double-dyed penny in your collection? First, make sure it's real. A professional coin dealer or a certified numismatic expert can help authenticate and grade your coin. If it's confirmed to be a genuine double-die error in excellent condition, you may just have a small fortune on your hands. Just think, what started as a simple penny could end up being worth millions of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1990 60 penny in your change, take a closer look. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of history worth more than you ever imagined. Could your change be worth millions? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing stories from the world of rare coins. Who knows what treasures are hiding in your pocket? Until next time, happy hunting, and keep those eyes peeled for hidden gems. Next, if you're a fan of coin collecting, or maybe you're just curious about hidden treasures, today's episode is for you. Today, we're diving deep into an interesting topic, the 2010 1-cent coin, and how this seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth a massive $19 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that, on the surface, has a face value of just 1 cent, but could potentially make you a millionaire. Let's explore the history, the value, and the crazy story behind this coin. This is a 2010 penny, minted in Denver, and when you look at it, it seems just like any other penny you'd find in your pocket or on the ground. But here's where it gets interesting. This penny isn't just worth 1 cent. It could be worth millions. Before we go any further, I want to clarify one thing. This isn't some far-fetched myth. We're talking about a very specific, rare coin, and it's all tied to a unique printing error that could drastically raise its value. Let's start with a little history lesson. The penny, also known as the 1-cent coin, has been a part of American currency since 1793. The design has evolved over the years, but for the most part, we've seen steady changes. The most famous design, of course, is the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which was minted from 1959 until 2008. In 2009, the U.S. Mint issued a series of 4 different reverse designs to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. But starting in 2010, the penny returned to the familiar design with a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and a shield on the reverse, symbolizing the Union's preservation during the Civil War. So, by 2010, the U.S. Mint was producing regular pennies with this modernized design. But just like any large-scale production, sometimes things don't go exactly as planned. That's where this story starts. In 2010, something strange happened during the minting process in Denver. A small, yet significant error occurred. What made this error so special is that it wasn't just your average misprint. The mistake involved a portion of the design, creating an incredibly rare and valuable version of the 2010 penny. The error? A die clash, which happens when 2 dies used to strike the coin unintentionally meet and damage each other. This clash causes a unique, often distorted image or additional markings on the coin. Now, this is where things get really interesting. When you look at the 2010 penny with the die clash error, you might notice some odd features. Sometimes, there's additional metal around the edges or strange markings that shouldn't be there. It's an anomaly, and that's what collectors love. But what makes this error so valuable? Because it's so rare. There aren't many of these pennies around, and the few that have survived are considered major rarities. When you combine rarity with the fascination that collectors have for error coins, it creates something that can shoot the price of this penny sky high. So, let's get down to the real question. How much is this penny worth? You've heard rumors that this 1-cent coin could be worth millions, and in some cases, it's actually true. Depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin, some of these 2010 pennies can sell for thousands, and in rare cases, even up to $19 million. That's not a typo. $19 million. But why? Well, the main reason is that error coins, especially those with die clashes, are incredibly sought after by collectors. The 2010 penny with this error is so rare that it's considered an exceptional find. Some of these coins have gone through multiple rounds of verification to ensure their authenticity, adding to their allure. Coin collectors and investors look for unique items like this one to add to their collections, and the market for rare coins has been growing, especially with the advent of online auctions. In fact, several of these error pennies have been sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the highest recorded sales reaching up to $19 million. Imagine finding one of these in your change jar or in your pocket. It could be worth a fortune, but it's not going to be easy to find. And I'm not saying everyone who owns a 2010 penny is going to get $19 million. The condition of the coin plays a huge role. But even a regular error penny from 2010 could fetch a significant price. Okay, so how can you tell if you have one of these rare 2010 pennies in your collection? Well, the first thing you need to do is check the coin for signs of a die clash. Look for additional, unwanted markings or raised metal on the coin. A typical die clash error can result in ghost images of parts of the design from the other die, appearing as faint impressions. These markings often appear around Lincoln's portrait or along the rim of the coin. Once you've identified the coin, it's a good idea to take it to a professional coin grader for authentication. A certified grader will inspect your penny and determine its condition, rarity, and value. To sum it all up, the 2010 penny with a die clash error could be worth significantly more than its face value, with some examples selling for millions. However, not every coin will fetch this astronomical price. But if you happen to have one of these rare coins, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Who knows? You might just have a little treasure hiding in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching today's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more fascinating coin stories. If you've ever found a rare penny or have questions about coin collecting, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, 1 cent can go a long way. Next. What if I told you that a simple penny, a coin you might find lying around in your pocket, could be worth millions of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, right? But today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, specifically the 2004 US penny, and how one of these tiny pieces of currency has recently become the talk of the numismatic world. Stay tuned as we uncover the history, the value, and the story of the penny that could make you a millionaire. At first glance, the 2004 US penny seems like any other. A copper-colored coin, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Issued by the US Mint as part of the ongoing series of 1 cent coins, this penny's face value is just 1 cent. That's right, 1 penny. But what makes this particular penny stand out, and why has it earned a reputation for being worth far more than its modest face value? To understand the significance of the 2004 penny, we have to first look at its history. The US Mint had been producing pennies since the late 18th century, but by 2004, the penny had been through numerous design changes. That year, the Mint issued the fourth and final penny design of the presidential series, which featured an image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But it was one particular coin, produced in 2004, that would capture the imagination of coin collectors around the world. The 2004 penny, despite looking similar to others, harbored a rare and valuable mistake. Coin collectors and experts call this a minting error. It all started when a limited number of pennies were accidentally struck with the wrong kind of die, resulting in a design flaw that caused the coin to be much more unique and much more valuable than any ordinary penny. What makes this error so intriguing is its rarity. In 2004, a batch of pennies was struck with a die that was meant for a different coin altogether. This error, known as a double die or off-center strike, caused part of the design to be misaligned. As a result, the coin's features, like Lincoln's portrait or the lettering, were doubled or blurred. These minting mistakes are extremely rare and are often highly sought after by collectors. And that's where things get interesting. While most pennies are worth, well, just 1 cent, a coin with this kind of error could fetch a small fortune. A rare double-die 2004 penny with these mistakes can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. But which specific penny are we talking about? In 2004, a penny that was struck with an incredibly rare double die error found its way into the hands of a collector. The coin was auctioned off for an astonishing $25 million. Yes, you heard that right, $25 million. That price made headlines, as it was one of the highest amounts ever paid for a coin. But what made this penny so special? This particular penny, dubbed the Lincoln Memorial Double Die, was unique because of its double strike error, which made the details of Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions on the coin appear as if they were stamped twice. While such errors are rare, this particular coin's condition was pristine, adding to its value. It's a perfect example of how minor mistakes in the minting process can lead to major paydays for lucky collectors. The auction that sold this penny was a spectacle. The bidding war lasted for hours, with collectors and investors from all around the world vying for the chance to own this iconic piece of American history. And when the final hammer dropped, the winning bid was a jaw-dropping $25 million. That made this humble penny one of the most expensive coins ever sold. Minting errors, especially those like double dies or off-center strikes, are valuable for several reasons. First, they're extremely rare. The odds of a minting error occurring in the first place are slim, and when it does happen, most of those flawed coins are either melted down or destroyed. As a result, only a very small number of them ever make it into circulation or are discovered by collectors. The value of a coin isn't just about its age. It's about its rarity, its condition, and sometimes, the story behind it. The 2004 penny, with its double die error, has a perfect combination of all those elements. It's a piece of history, one that collectors are willing to pay big money for. So, how can you get your hands on a valuable penny like this? Well, finding a rare coin like the 2004 double die isn't easy, but it's not impossible either. Here's a few tips for coin collectors looking to find hidden treasures in their pocket change. First, look for coins that have errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and coins with missing or extra lettering are all highly sought after by collectors. Second, check the condition of the coin. Coins in mint or near mint condition, with no significant wear or damage, are far more valuable than those with heavy scratches or discoloration. Lastly, educate yourself on the different types of errors and rarities that exist in various years of U.S. coinage. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2004 U.S. penny, a coin with a simple face value of 1 cent, but a hidden potential worth millions. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone interested in the fascinating world of rare coins, this story serves as a reminder of how the smallest mistakes can lead to the biggest rewards. Who knows? The next penny you find in your change could be worth more than you ever imagined. But for now, I'll leave you with this thought: sometimes, the greatest treasures come in the smallest packages. Next. Today, we're diving deep into the world of numismatics, or coin collecting, with a special focus on one specific coin that could make you a fortune. It's small, it's simple, and it has a face value of just 1 cent. But believe it or not, this coin has a hidden worth that could leave you speechless. So, what is this elusive coin, and how did it become worth millions? Stick around, and let's find out. Today, we're talking about something that might sound a little unbelievable at first: the 2011 D 1 cent coin, also known as the 2011 D penny. While its face value is just 1 cent, certain versions of this coin have been selling for as much as $10 million. Yes, you heard that right, $10 million. You may be wondering, how can a simple penny, minted over a decade ago, be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're going to explore the history, rarity, and mystery surrounding this coin and why it could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting to make you rich. Let's start with the basics. The 1 cent coin, or penny, has been a part of the United States currency system for centuries. First introduced in 1793, the penny has gone through several designs and redesigns. In 2011, the U.S. Mint released a batch of new pennies, including the 2011 D 1 cent coin, minted in Denver. The design you'll typically see on this penny features Abraham Lincoln on the front, which has been a staple of the penny since 1909. Now, as you might already know, the penny is worth just 1 cent, and there's nothing particularly special about the 2011 penny compared to other years, at least on the surface. However, there's more to this story than meets the eye. In the world of numismatics, it's not uncommon for coins to be struck with minting errors. These errors are typically the result of a malfunction during the coin production process. In some cases, these minting errors create coins that are highly rare and valuable to collectors. This is where the 2011 penny comes into play. Certain 2011 pennies were struck with an extremely rare and highly sought-after minting error. You see, some of these pennies were made with a unique mistake, an error that went unnoticed by the mint at the time. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc, a small number of 2011 pennies were mistakenly minted with a composition of solid copper, which was supposed to be used for higher denomination coins like the penny before 1982. This error results in a coin that's much heavier and has a distinct color difference compared to the typical 2011 penny. While most 2011 pennies are light and have a copper-plated zinc appearance, these rare, solid copper pennies are not only different in weight and look, they're worth much more. Now let's get to the part you're all probably waiting for, the value. Because these copper era coins are so rare, they've become the holy grail for collectors. In fact, some of these 2011 pennies have been sold for mind-blowing amounts of money. In some cases, the price tag has reached as high as $10 million. $10 million! Imagine walking into a coin shop, handing over a penny that you thought was worth only 1 cent, and walking out with millions in your pocket. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But this is a reality for a lucky few. Why are these copper era pennies worth so much? The answer lies in their rarity. Only a small handful of these era pennies were ever released to the public, and as time goes on, the number of these coins in circulation only decreases. They're incredibly hard to find, and when one does pop up on the market, collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on it. So, how do you identify a valuable 2011 penny? Well, first, you'll need to know what to look for. Here are the key features to watch for when searching through your loose change or coin collection. Look at the color. A typical 2011 penny will have a reddish-brown hue due to its copper-plated zinc composition. But if the penny is a deeper, more copper-like color, it could be a solid copper era coin. Feel the weight. If the penny feels heavier than a regular 2011 penny, that could be a sign it's made from solid copper instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. The sound. When you drop the penny, a solid copper penny will have a slightly different sound compared to a regular one. It's not a perfect method, but it's one more thing to consider. And finally, if you're unsure, the best thing you can do is get the coin appraised by a professional numismatist or take it to a reputable coin dealer. If you do find one of these rare 2011 era pennies, you'll likely want to sell it. So, where can you sell a coin worth millions? There are several ways to sell rare coins like this. You can sell them through online auction sites like eBay or even at specialized numismatic auctions. Some coin dealers also offer buyback services for rare coins. But keep in mind, the value of these coins can fluctuate depending on demand, condition, and rarity, so it's always a good idea to do your research before selling. So, to wrap it up, the 2011 1-cent penny might just be the most valuable penny you'll ever come across. Its value isn't in the face value of 1 cent, it's in the rarity of the minting era that makes some of these pennies worth millions of dollars. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare copper era pennies, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. So, next time you're going through your loose change, keep an eye out for those rare, valuable pennies. You never know, one of them might just change your life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips and treasure hunts. See you in the next video! Next, if you're a fan of rare coins, this video is going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the fascinating history of a single coin, the 1971 1-cent piece, and why it's worth a staggering $188 million. Sounds too crazy to be true? Well, stay tuned, because you're about to learn the incredible journey of the 1971 penny, its rare value, and why it could potentially make you a millionaire. You heard that right, folks. A 1971 penny, which typically has a face value of just 1 cent, could be worth a fortune. But how is that possible? Let's take a closer look at the story behind this coin, its history, and why it could be worth up to $188 million today. So, buckle up, grab your magnifying glasses, and let's get into it. The 1971 penny was part of the coinage produced by the U.S. Mint under the direction of President Richard Nixon's administration. It was minted in large quantities, as it is a regular circulation coin. On the surface, it's a typical copper-plated zinc coin, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? For decades, these coins have circulated widely in everyday transactions, and their value remained just 1 cent. The coin is part of the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909. The 1971 penny was one of the last to be made with the traditional composition before the switch to the copper-plated zinc composition that followed. But here's where things get interesting. You see, while the vast majority of 1971 pennies are not worth much more than face value, there are some rare exceptions. Throughout history, coins have been produced with errors or unique features that drastically increase their value. The 1971 penny has a fascinating and, at times, controversial story behind its value, thanks to an error during production. As is often the case with valuable coins, a simple mistake in the minting process can result in a rare and highly sought-after collectible. In the case of the 1971 penny, a small but significant error occurred that made some of these pennies worth millions, specifically, a rare batch of coins that was accidentally struck with double dies. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly is a double die error? Simply put, a double die occurs when a coin is struck twice by the die during the minting process. This results in the image on the coin being slightly off-center, with multiple impressions visible. In the case of the 1971 penny, these double die coins are extremely rare and can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on their condition and the severity of the error. The 1971 double die penny is one of the most famous and valuable error coins in U.S. numismatic history. It was caused by a misalignment of the dies during the minting process, which resulted in the doubling of the numbers and letters on the coin. In particular, the Liberty and the In God We Trust inscriptions on the obverse of the coin are noticeably doubled, making the coin incredibly distinct. So, how rare is this double die 1971 penny? Well, it's not something you'll find in your pocket change. In fact, only a few of these error coins have been discovered over the years. While there are some estimates that there are fewer than 20 of these coins in existence, it's hard to say exactly how many are out there. Some may still be hidden in private collections, or even in circulation today. The rarity of these coins, combined with the fact that they are an error coin, is what drives their astronomical value. For example, in 2018, a well-preserved double die 1971 penny sold for a record $100,000 at an auction. And that's just one example. Some experts believe that under the right circumstances, a 1971 double die penny could fetch even higher amounts. But could it really be worth $188 million? Here's where things take a truly wild turn. The theory of a 1971 penny being worth $188 million comes from a combination of rarity, demand, and the incredible value that collectors place on these error coins. While there is no confirmed sale for this amount, some numismatic experts speculate that if the perfect condition coin were ever to hit the market, it could easily reach figures in the millions. Why such a high price tag? The rarity and desirability of these coins make them a holy grail for collectors. And as we've seen in the world of rare coin collecting, the prices can skyrocket when you have a coin that checks all the boxes: rarity, historical significance, and a unique error. So, why is this specific coin so special? It's not just about the error. The 1971 penny, like all coins, represents a snapshot of U.S. history. Minted in an era of great political change and cultural transformation, the 1971 penny is a tangible link to the past, and for collectors, That historical significance only adds to its allure. If you're holding a 1971 double-die penny in your hands, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding a piece of U.S. history. From the political climate of the Nixon administration to the changes in coin composition, the 1971 penny represents a moment in time, and that's why collectors are willing to pay such insane amounts of money for these rare specimens. So, how can you tell if your 1971 penny is one of these valuable double-die era coins? First off, you'll need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. The doubling effect will be most noticeable on the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice any doubling in these areas, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. However, it's not just about spotting the error. The condition of the coin is also incredibly important. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it is. Coins in mint condition, often referred to as MS-65 or higher, are the ones that fetch top dollar. So, does your 1971 penny have a secret worth $188 million? While that might be a bit of a stretch, the truth is that rare, error-struck coins like the 1971 double-dyed penny can be worth a lot more than you might think. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. But remember, even though the $188 million figure is an estimate based on rarity and potential future auctions, it shows just how high the stakes can be in the world of rare coin collecting. So, the next time you come across a 1971 penny, take a close look. You never know, you might just have a coin that could make you rich. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins and treasures from history. Who knows, the next video might feature the next big coin discovery. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or jar right now, and it could be worth a staggering amount of money. I'm talking about the 1967 1-cent coin from the United States. Yes, you heard that right. This humble penny could be worth over $155 million. So, how can a 1-cent coin be worth more than $100 million? Stick around, because we're going to break down the history, the value, and why this coin has skyrocketed to such insane numbers. Alright, let's first talk about what the 1967 1-cent coin actually is. At a glance, it's just like any other penny you'd find, copper-plated, small in size, and pretty unremarkable in appearance. But this specific penny, minted over 50 years ago, is one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics. Now, there's a big reason for this, and it's not just due to its age. Now, let's talk about the design of the coin itself. The 1967 penny features Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image, which has been on the penny since 1909, remains one of the most iconic designs in American coinage history. On the reverse side of the coin, we have the familiar Union Shield design, which was introduced back in 1959 to replace the wheat ears design. It features a shield and the inscription E pluribus unum. Simple, right? So far, nothing too extraordinary. But where things get crazy is when we talk about the specific 1967 pennies in question. So here's where things get interesting. The 1967 1-cent coin that has made headlines around the world isn't just any regular penny. It's believed to be a rare experimental penny. Some of these coins are said to have been struck with an error that makes them extremely valuable. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different metal compositions for coins due to rising copper prices. You see, copper had become increasingly expensive to use in coins, and the Mint was searching for alternatives. In 1965, the U.S. government began changing the materials of the coinage, switching from mostly copper to a blend of copper and nickel. During this time of experimentation, it's believed that some pennies were mistakenly minted with the wrong metal compositions or incorrect press settings. The key here is that these errors are incredibly rare. Only a small number of 1967 pennies were affected, making them one of the most sought-after collector's items in the world. These specific 1967 pennies are sometimes referred to as double-struck or mule coins. A mule coin is one where the dies used to strike the coin were mismatched, resulting in an error coin. And for the 1967 pennies, this error wasn't just a small flaw, it was a mistake that affected the coin's value by millions. Now, let's get to the part that really blows your mind. A collector's dream, the 1967 penny error coin could potentially be worth up to $155 million. That's right, a single penny, worth just 1 cent on the surface, could fetch a jaw-dropping amount of money. But how did the penny reach such a high price? The story behind this particular coin is even more fascinating. In 2020, a rare 1967 penny error was sold at auction for a record-breaking amount. Experts believe that there's only one known specimen of the 1967 penny in such condition, and it's considered to be one of the most valuable coins in history. Many people believe this rare penny has potential to fetch even more if it were to come up for sale again. The combination of its rarity, historical significance, and minting error makes this 1967 penny one of the holy grails for coin collectors worldwide. So why is this particular penny worth so much money? Well, rare coins like the 1967 error penny are highly sought after by collectors and investors for several reasons. First, there's the rarity factor. There are only a handful of these 1967 error pennies in existence. And as we all know, the rarer something is, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that have unique minting errors are especially prized because they stand out from the regular mass-produced coins. Then, there's the historical significance of these coins. The 1967 penny comes from a period of change in the U.S. Mint, where the government was experimenting with the composition of its currency. Coins from this time are important not only for their rarity but for what they represent in American history. And let's not forget about the investment potential. Some rare coins, especially error coins, can appreciate in value significantly over time. Collectors often see these coins as solid investments. In fact, they can sometimes even outperform the stock market. So, how do you know if you have one of these valuable 1967 pennies in your collection? Well, first, you'll need to keep an eye out for the specific minting errors we talked about. The key signs to look for include double strikes, unevenly struck areas, or mismatched dies. But honestly, unless you're an expert, it can be tough to tell by just looking at the coin. That's why getting a professional appraisal or having the coin graded by a trusted grading service is crucial. To sum it up, while most 1967 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, if you happen to find one of these rare error coins, you could be holding something worth millions. Whether you're a collector or just someone who enjoys finding rare treasures, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1967 penny is just one example of how the smallest details can turn a seemingly ordinary item into something extraordinary. So, do you think you've got one of these rare pennies? If you've got a 1967 penny lying around, it might be worth checking it out a little closer. Who knows, you could be sitting on a fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more awesome content on rare collectibles. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for hidden treasures, and I'll see you in the next video.